Right then, good evening everybody from the UAE. Let me just put some comments on here so I can see who we've got in the house. Elaine is saying hola, from Portugal there, from Brazil, sorry, not from Portugal. So yeah, good evening, my name's Tav Claudine and welcome to my first ever live stream. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous about this, so please forgive me for the mistakes I might make going forward. One or two of you have asked for me to do these live streams. They want to, obviously my channel has got a little animated figure there and wanted to see the real face, so this is the real face, so all I can do is apologise. But what we're going to do then, so once a month, that's all it's going to be, it won't be too much of your time. Once a month I'm going to go and look at the month in minutes. And so what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick recap of some of the sporting news that has just happened, and also then we're going to look at principally we're going to look at what's going forward in the next month. So now we're going to be talking about April. So let's start off with that sporting news that I just mentioned. This is in no particular order, and indeed just in the last few minutes we have had all sorts of news come in, so it's only as good as up to date as I can keep it. But we've got King James, LeBron James is second on the all-time list now of scoring. He's got 36,947 points in the NBA. He's second on the list behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was formerly known as Lou Alcindor. And before I get telling you about LeBron James, there was a rule, a law, when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was at college, and it was called the Lou Alcindor law. And what it did was it prevented anyone from dunking the basketball. Obviously that was to stop his dominance in the basketball back then when he was at college. But anyway, LeBron James has been playing for 16 seasons now in the NBA. He's averaging 27.1 points per game. This season it's a little bit more, but 27.1 points per game. He's 1,440 points behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And so I got my calculator out. 54 games time, which is approximately next season, mid-season, he will become the NBA's all-time highest point scorer. So well done there, LeBron, in anticipation. Some sad news, but obviously not super sad, but the Italian cyclist Cabrelli, well, let me tell you, this happened in Sant Feliu de Guíxols, which is in Catalonia, in northeast Spain. It's my old stomping ground. And it's beautiful there, the hills go up and down. I used to cycle there with Juan Llaneras, who's the two-time Olympic champion. So Juan, if you're watching, good to see you again, and get in touch. But there is no easy road to cycle there, and the Volta Catalunya, the big professional cycling race, there was an uphill stage finish, and unfortunately the Italian Cabrelli, who cycles for Bahrain cycling team, he had to have some significant medical procedures on the side of the road, and I do know what they were on about, but I'll let you find that out. But he's doing better. In actual fact, he only commented from the hospital, it'll be a miracle if he gets back on the bike, but at least he's able to say that, and so we wish him well in the next stage of whatever he's going to do. If he's become a professional cyclist, he clearly has some very, very, very significant skill set and determination. I'm sure he'll do fine going forward. So, Sonny Cabrelli. Next story, latest news, Leah Thompson won the US National College's 500 free. Not too much in that story, apart from the fact that Leah Thomas used to be Will Thomas. And I made a film about this on my channel, about transgender athletes transitioning. And this is one of the actual athletes that I talked about in the film a couple of months ago. So Leah Thomas now has actually won the US National Colleges. She had previously competed as a male before, and what I will say about this is the authorities, the governing bodies, everybody concerned need to get a grip on this, and they need to make some fair rules, and they need the science and they need the research, and they need to get it done quickly, because very soon it's going to become a serious issue. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, the Republican, he signed a proclamation to say that Emma signed a proclamation to say the second place swimmer was actually the winner, but obviously that doesn't mean anything. Leah Thomas is the winner, and well done for her for winning. however in somewhat controversial circumstances. Moving on now, Cleveland Browns have signed Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texans. Once again, a little bit of controversy with this in that there are 22 allegations, 22 civil cases of sexual misconduct against him. The judge has ruled, though, that there are no... he won't be prosecuted by the law, it's just civil cases against him. But the Cleveland Browns have signed Deshaun Watson, and he is a fantastic quarterback, there's no doubt about it. I would like him on my team, I don't want to play against him. So the Browns have signed him. Moving on then, this came as a real shock to me, absolutely no doubt about it. Ashley Barty, top of the game, world number one, just recently won the Australian Open. Everything in front of her. At 25 years young, she decides to retire. And she's clearly got her reasons why, and all I can do is wish her well. She won the Australian, like I said, this year. She won Wimbledon, and she's won Roland Garros. She only had the US Open to win to get the Grand Slam of the Big Four. So good luck, Ashley Barty, with whatever you do going forward. I've got a few notes. I'll just put these notes up. I've got this very special machine here. So I've had a message from Struan Scott Woodhouse. Good evening, Mr. Claudine. It's very good to speak to you. So yeah, if you want to send any messages there. I've got a few. Tanya Rodriguez sent lots of sporting icons. Thank you there. So fantastic. Good to hear from you. Some obituaries. Rest in peace. I didn't really want to do this, but I just felt it's almost like paying homage to these people. Rodney Marsh, the Australian wicket keeper, who I'm very pleased to say died of natural causes. Not pleased to say he's died, but whenever anyone dies, celebrity, sportsman or anybody, I just hope it is natural causes. But yeah, he had 96 tests at wicket for Australia, 355 wickets, wicket-keeping wickets, and he was a great of the game. So Rodney Marsh will be well missed. Shane Warne should still be here now. He's far too young to die. He died in his villa in Koh Samui. For those that don't know him, an absolute great of the game, spin bowler. He bowled the bowl of the century against Mike Gatting, an English player. He was the first bowler to score 700, to take 700 Test wickets. He's second on the all-time list now. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. You'll be sadly missed, Shane, and you were a character. You are a character. Federico Martin Aramburu, the Argentinian rugby union player. Unfortunately, he was gunned down in Paris. He had an argument in a bar one evening, and then somebody went back and got their gun and decided to shoot him. So that's absolutely no doubt. And he was a top player. He actually scored in the third and fourth place playoff. Against France, he scored a try when Argentina went on to win third place in the Rugby World Cup not too long ago. Performance of the month. There are numerous sporting performances that could be talked about. There could be Barcelona in El Clásico when they beat Real Madrid. There could be Italy beating Wales in the Rugby Union. It could be, there's so many good sporting performances of the month. But this was a few weeks ago. The sporting performance of the month I'm going to give you was Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari team, who won the first race of the season in Bahrain. Last season they did nothing at all. I know some of you will say that. They were preparing for this season, but they have prepared. They won the first race of the season. The lights go out in Saudi just in a few minutes time, and we'll see how they get on in the second race. So Charles Leclerc and Ferrari, you are the performance of the month. The choker of the month is the flip side, that team or that individual, that person who has had an absolute disaster. And that could be numerous teams once again. That could be Paris Saint-Germain losing to Monaco in the La Liga, in Ligue 1, where they lost 3-0, where even Mauricio Pochettino, their manager, said that was unacceptable. That was a shameful sporting performance. That was after they were eliminated from the Champions League the week before as well. So Paris Saint-Germain could be the choker of the month. There's so many I could tell you about, but the one that I have decided to award, it's to the Welsh rugby union team with their loss to Italy in the Six Nations just a couple of weeks ago. There's no scenario where Wales should be losing to Italy in the Six Nations. That's all we can say about it. No scenario whatsoever. So Jokers of the Month, Wales Rugby Union. Right then, here's the month ahead. So we'll quickly go through this and I'll let you prepare for the Saudi Grand Prix. On Sunday the 2nd, we have the varsity matches. Now, varsity is a shortened word for university and traditionally used between Oxford and Cambridge. There are the university boat race, that's the varsity boat race, but Cambridge and Oxford have played rugby union for 150 years now. It's a centenary and a half. It's down at Twickenham, where once again my old stomping ground. I used to live in Teddington, not too far from there, Tide End Town. Cambridge have got the slight edge on Oxford. They've won 64 of the editions, Oxford 61 and the remainder as draws. It's called matches now because the ladies are playing on the same day. And now these matches are on at the weekends. They used to be a midweek game and I think it used to be on a Thursday. So the varsity matches are on the 2nd, the big first sporting event of the month. On the 3rd, we've got 2 events going on. It says 3 here, but quite clearly WrestleMania. Much as I want to watch it, I probably will watch it. I'm not talking about it here. We've got the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. And as I say, we've got sports notices coming in thick and fast all the time. It's being held down in Melbourne. It's been held down in New Zealand. My mistake there, apologies. In several venues around New Zealand. Traditionally, it's the British colonial countries that have been participating in this competition, and the semi-final lineup has literally just been completed. And the semi-finals are England, Australia, the West Indies, and South Africa. So those 4 teams have gone through to the semi-finals, and the final is going to be very soon on the 3rd. We've got the EFL Papa John's Trophy Final. This is the second big final of the domestic season in the UK, in England and Wales. And the EFL Papa John's Final is Leagues 1 and 2, so the tiers 3 and 4 of the English Football League. We've got Sutton United, who beat my boys AFC Wimbledon, so really don't want Sutton to go on and win. But then again, I suppose you do want to lose to the winners. So Sutton United against Rotherham. Sutton are in the 2nd division and Rotherham in the 1st division. So Rotherham probably statistically and performance-wise have the advantage and are probably favourites to go into that final, which is at Wembley. It's a one-off final, extra time and penalties. So good luck with those 2 teams. On the 5th, what have we got here? Right, quarterfinals of the Champions League. Yeah, I'm absolutely all over these. I can't wait for them. We've got Atletico Madrid travelling up to Manchester. We've got Liverpool going all the way down to Portugal there against Benfica. Let's have a look what's on the next day, on the 6th. And we've got the second, it's the quarter-final, so there's 8 teams left in there. We've got Real Madrid going to Chelsea and Bayern Munich going to Villarreal. That Chelsea-Real Madrid game is the tie of the round, absolutely no doubt. Got last year's winners, Chelsea, against Real Madrid, who are 13 times winners. Yeah, can't wait for that. I'm absolutely all over that. I'm going to be watching that no matter what time it's on. Can't wait. Let's move on. On the 7th here, we've got the Masters and the Grand National. The Masters is the first of the big golf tournaments this year. It's in Augusta, Georgia. They play for the coveted green jersey. That's the sprinters in the Tour de France. They play for the coveted green jacket. And that's Hideki Matsuyama, last year's winner. And that's Phil Mickelson, who we won't be seeing wearing a green jacket this year because for the first time in 28 seasons, he won't be at the Masters because he's decided to take a break from the game because he backed the wrong horse, decided to speak quite badly about everybody else apart from Saudi Arabia, and the new Saudi Golf Tour didn't really take off as it was supposed to or wanted to, and so Phil Mickelson will not be at the Masters this year. 4 rounds of golf, the Masters, first of the big ones. I'm looking forward to that. We've got the Grand National Festival held up in Liverpool at Aintree. It's a festival. There's numerous races, but the big one is the Grand National. It's watched all over the world. This is Rachel Blackmore, who actually won the race last year, the first female jockey ever to win the Grand National. It's a 30. There's 30 hurdles to jump, 4.25 miles. It's the big one. Yeah, I like watching it. Hopefully, none of the horses die this year. It's got better in recent years. At one point, a long time ago, it went through quite a bad stage where several horses would have to be put down each time the Grand National happened. So that's the Grand National there. On the 8th, we've got the Australian Grand Prix. That used to be the season opener. It's down in Melbourne. You can see where I made the mistake before. It's down in Melbourne. It hasn't been staged for a couple of years because of COVID. Australia closed its doors, quite rightly so. It's a fast track. Michael Schumacher 2004, if you look at that stat there, Michael Schumacher in 2004 is still the lap record holder. So it shows you, although the cars have got the technology, they're not necessarily faster. And also, I did read a stat once that Formula 1 cars have been taken to over 400 kilometres an hour. So, yeah, in actual fact, it's just the technology. The actual speed themselves, they have slowed them down lots and lots of ways. But that's not what we're talking about here. Shut up, please. Right then, so Michael Schumacher, the last winner was 2019, and that was Valtteri Bottas at the Australian Grand Prix. On the 10th, we got the Premier League. Yes. 4:30 in the afternoon, Manchester City versus Liverpool. As far as I'm concerned, this is the title decider. Manchester City against Liverpool. I could go out on a limb and say that these two are... I've got a couple of more. We've got Jessica Parry coming in the house saying, loving the show, Tav, thank you for that. Italy, Choker of the Month. Who said this? Nadia. I hope you're not Italian, Nadia. Sorry about that. Manchester City against Liverpool. I'm saying, and I've said this, and I get into all sorts of arguments all the time, but I think these two teams are the best two teams in football, in world football, including Brazil and Germany, and certainly not England, and Italy, even though they haven't qualified for the last two World Cups. These two teams are absolutely fantastic. It's delicately poised. There is 1 point in it. Manchester City are in pole position at top of the league. Liverpool 1 point behind, but Liverpool just can't stop winning. The fact that they're playing each other means that whichever team wins, if one of these two teams was to win every single remainder game of the season, whichever team that was would become league champions. So from that point of view, City have got a little bit more of an advantage in the Premier League recently, but there's nothing in this, and I'm going to go for a draw there. I can't split them. Yeah, looking forward to that game though, that's all I can say. Was that the 12th? No, on the 12th we got the return legs. Chelsea going down to Real Madrid. I see Villarreal going to Bayern Munich. Manchester City going down to Madrid again. Two teams going down to Madrid, of course, on different days, of course, subsequent days. So City going down to Atletico and Benfica going all the way up to Liverpool. Who do I see progressing? Chelsea obviously in complete turmoil as a club, but still getting results on the field. Can that continue though? Lukaku wants out, etc, etc, etc. I'm going to go for Real Madrid to win that tie. You can't bet against Bayern Munich, especially against Villarreal. Bayern Munich to win that tie. Manchester City to go through against Atletico over 2 games, and Liverpool to put a cricket score on Benfica, I'm afraid to say. Couple more events left. We got on the 16th of April the Invictus Games. We got the Snooker Championships and also a bit of FA Cup. The Invictus Games are an adaptive games. There's 500 athletes of servicemen or ex-servicemen and women that have been injured in service. As I say, adaptive games. They were supposed to be held 2 years ago, but obviously COVID has put paid to that, and they're now being staged 2020. We've got Prince Harry there and his wife Meghan, and we've got some of the athletes that would, I presume, participating in the previous edition. Now, Prince Harry has said he's going to continue on with his charitable work, and so he's still going to be patron of the Invictus Games. Invictus means unbeatable, undefeatable. So if you look at your etymology there, Invictus Games. Prince Harry is the patron. We shouldn't call him Prince anymore because he's given up his royal duties, so he's just Harry. And in actual fact, we shouldn't even call him Harry because his name isn't Harry, it's Henry. So what are you doing, Henry? Henry and the Invictus Games. The Betfred World Snooker Championships from Sheffield, one of the finest cities in the world, at the Crucible. We've got the Jester from Leicester on the left there against Sean Murphy, the Magician. Selby there on the left, the Jester from Leicester. He is the defending champion. And the 6-time champion, the people's favourite, Ronnie O'Sullivan. He should be there, but we don't know. And the reason I say we don't know is because in recent interviews he has just gone on and said, hey, if anything better comes up, I'll do that. I don't really need snooker that much. You know, I don't love the game quite as much as I used to. So yeah, if something better comes up, I'll do that instead. But I bet we see Ronnie the Rocket O'Sullivan, and I hope we see him there because he is an absolute, well, anyone that knows, you don't need me to say how good the Rocket is. The Betfred World Snooker Championships, and also then we've got the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Both played at Wembley, a bit contentious at the moment because of roadworks in the UK. Don't go on a road trip in the UK at the moment because they've decided to dig up all the motorways. Chelsea and Crystal Palace are both London clubs. They've got no problem whatsoever. Chelsea, last year's beaten finalists. Who did they lose to? Leicester City beat them. That's right. Leicester City beat them 1-0, didn't they? And it was just having a quick look at those. I wonder if someone could tell me. It's Tillman's. He scored the goal from 25 yards. Yeah, I see Chelsea winning that. Crystal Palace are playing well under Patrick Vieira. Yeah, new lease of life. They are playing well, but Chelsea, they've got the pedigree in these sort of tournaments. And we've got Manchester City and Liverpool. And something I negated to say before, Manchester City are looking for a treble and Liverpool are looking for a quadruple. Liverpool won the League Cup recently, so they've got everything to go. I can't wait for this one as well. Yeah, I can't see. Chelsea to go through there. Extra time and penalties here, and who knows whether the goalkeepers end up taking some penalties because there's going to be so many of them. They've got some good keepers in these teams as well. Right then, so so we got Formula 1 on the 20th. This is now Formula 1 coming back to Europe, and I'm conscious of the lights going out in Saudi very, very soon. I'm looking forward to watching that. And when I saw the lights go out in Saudi, I hope that is because the race goes off without any hitch whatsoever, and there's no drone attacks or anything like that, and there's certainly no craziness in Saudi in a few minutes. But yeah, we got Imola at Ferrari's own track. This replaced the Chinese Grand Prix because of COVID a couple of seasons ago, or a season ago. Lewis Hamilton has got the lap record. Lewis Hamilton was on pole last year, but Verstappen actually won the race. It was a rain-affected race. Yeah, it was a rain-affected race, and Verstappen won it. Lewis Hamilton's not doing particularly well this season. I know we're only one race into it. I know it's Mercedes. I know. But I'm wondering now whether Lewis Hamilton regrets not taking that Abu Dhabi controversy to CAS and getting some sort of ruling on it, and maybe he would have been 9 times World Drivers' champion, and without a doubt the GOAT of Formula 1 racing. However, at the moment he's not. Yeah, so Imola coming up very, very soon. On the 23rd, oh yes, Tyson Fury, Dillian White. Those of you that know me will know that I'm quite a relaxed, placid guy. I don't really get too angry about certain things. Well, in actual fact, sometimes I do. Sometimes things really upset me. But I love my boxing. I love all the mixed martial arts. I wish I was very good at it. I'm not very good at all. Tyson Fury, Dillian White, just talking about boxing. Just last week, I was at the heaviest boxing fight in history where we saw Thor beat Eddie the Beast Hall. Eddie, I was the one shouting, get inside, uppercut, come on, rough him up. But you didn't listen to me, and Thor got the decision. It was a bit of fun. I don't think we need to confuse that with boxing, though. This boxing is the real deal. Tyson Fury, undisputed champion, just off the back of the trilogy with... I'm having a bit of a... someone help me out on the thing. Who did he just had the trilogy against? Deontay Wilder. Dear me. Deontay Wilder, yeah, 3 great fights. Dillian Whyte, 30 fights, 28 wins, 19 by knockout, 2 losses, and his losses were AJ and Povotkin. And, you know, we know who AJ is, and he's no mug. And Povotkin, in actual fact, Dillian Whyte went back and beat him, and that's why he's the mandatory challenger to fight Tyson Fury. I know there's a bit of craziness at the moment whether Dillian Whyte has signed the contracts, but he's going to get 8 million or something, dollars or pounds. So there's no doubt about it. He's going to sign that contract, and I'm looking forward to seeing Tyson Fury, I'm afraid to say, knock Dillian Whyte out. Yeah, that's the only result I can see there. The last event that I'm going to talk about of next month it's the NFL draft. And the reason I say that, the NFL is going to get going very soon. The draft is happening in a town close to Las Vegas, and for those of you who don't know, the NFL takes the majority of its players from the colleges system, and there are 6 rounds of drafts, 262 picks. The Jacksonville, traditionally the worst team in the season before, gets the first pick, therefore the opportunity to pick the best player, or the player they need most in their team and their squad. So the Jacksonville Jaguars have got the number 1 pick. There are 262 picks in total, so it goes on for several days, this draft. And I was thinking 262 picks, that's a lot of new players potentially in the NFL. So I did my stats, and there are 32 teams in the NFL. There are 53 players on each squad, although not every single one of them dress for the game. And so that's close to 1,700 players in the NFL. But there are potentially 262 new players to replace those leaving. So the NFL draft is happening at the end of April. Right then, those of you that go out and have a chat with me, or work with me, or know me, or talk to me on whatever, WhatsApp or Instagram, I've got an Instagram account as well, you'll hear me say things like, oh, which is the best sporting weekend of the year, which is the best such and such, who would win in a fight between these, or what's going to happen. I've often said as well, which is the best sporting month. If you were to ask me right now, which is the best sporting month, I would tell you that April isn't. All right, next month is significantly better. We've got the end of the rugby union, we've got the end of the football, we've got the end of the basketball, we've got people chasing big round pieces of cheese in Brockworth, and I've been down to watch that. We've got the IPL, we've got all sorts of sporting goodness happening next month. I've already started producing that film, or the research on it, so I'm really looking forward to telling you all about it. And oh, hang on, I've got someone coming in. Oh, I've got to say this because I know this bloke and I'm not sure. This man, in actual fact, the London Essentials, they're a fine band down in London. Well, they're all over the world. Him and I both went to see, who was it we went to see? We went to see AJ against Klitschko at Wembley. And that was a good fight. Let me tell you, that was a very good fight. So now I've lost my train of thought. Can I turn you off that screen there? But good to see you. Good to see you, Ben. He's saying Dillian Whyte with a right hook. Let's see if you heard it here first. So what I propose to do now, I'm going to do one of these every month, and it's probably going to be at the back end of the second week of the month, probably on a Sunday. And what I suggest you do, tell all your friends, subscribe and hit the notifications, because I'm really not sure when I'm going to be doing it. So the notifications will give you a little message to say, hey, Tav Claudine is coming online soon, and he wants to tell you all about the month of May and the news of April. Listen, guys, thanks very much. It's been great to speak to you all. Really looking forward to the next one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you all very, very, very soon. Bye-bye now.